Welcome back. Today we're talking about the legendary George Best, one of my favorite players, undoubtedly the best player to ever come out of Britain. Don't argue with me. Let's go. Okay, so here's the deal. We're going to watch some highlights. We're also going to look at some photos. I'll give you a rough little background of his life. Nothing. I love this goal, by the way. Ah, yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah, so I'll give you a light biography of his life, chat about a few things, sort of the good and the bad. Then we'll pick out some specific highlights at the end, some of his best goals that are worth looking at, such as this one, in fact. So here he is in the Man United kit. As you know, he obviously played for Man United. He played for a ton of other teams as well, but they don't really count. I mean, essentially his peak was with United, and everything after that was a bit of a joke, really. Um, yeah, okay. Sorry if these photos will move. So yeah, he loved his cars. I'm actually not sure what type of car that is, but that was one of many nice cars that he had. What even is that? Jaguar, apparently. Yeah, he had a ton of cars. He liked to drive them. He liked to drink drive them. Crashed a few of them. Not too great all in all. Here he is with the man, the Pele, obviously playing together in the MLS. Here's a quote. Pele said he was the greatest player in the world, which is not actually true, by the way, because Pele and George Best played at the same time, and Pele was better than George Best. But look, George Best was one of the best of all time. Not as good as Pele, but he was definitely up there. What else have we got? Oh yeah, he was a pisshead. So here he is, like stacking champagne glasses. Not sure how that's even possible, actually. But yeah, he liked to drink, as we all do. Obviously having a good time there. He likes womanizing. Not too sure what the context of his photo is, but clearly having a good time. He had many girlfriends, had two wives, but clearly did well with the ladies. Good looking dude, of course. That's his first wife and his son. That marriage lasted about 8 years, from like late 70s, early 80s. He had his child and didn't go too well. I think he was pretty abusive and a bit of a cheater. So that one didn't last too long. That's his second wife, obviously a much younger woman. That didn't end too well, so they divorced in 2004. He died in 2005, so yeah, pretty close to the end. Yeah, again, abusive. Um, belted her up a couple of times. Not good. Yeah, this is him on his deathbed. So he wanted this photo to be published, to basically deter people from drinking. Obviously, alcoholism did take his life. And I won't read these aloud, but pause the video. These are some good quotes, which I think are quite hilarious to take a look at. All right, let's chuck some video on. I'll give you a quick little background of his life. So he was born in Belfast, Northern Ireland, 1946. He was a Protestant, if you're wondering. He wasn't particularly religious. He didn't really care. He didn't get into the whole religious stupidity they do over there. But yes, he was a Protestant. 1963 was when he joined Manchester United, and that's where he spent the bulk of his career, or at least the bulk of his prime. So what trophies did he win? He won the FA Cup 1963, won the English League in 1965, 1967, won the European Cup, aka Champions League, in 1968, and he also won European Player of the Year that year, which is aka the Ballon d'Or. Okay, so for me, his Man United career was really in two parts. Early 60s was basically when he was playing well, the team was playing well, they won all these trophies, he was drinking, he was womanizing, having a great time. He was drink driving a little bit, but he never did anything too outrageous. I think he hit one girl and broke her pelvis, but apparently it wasn't his fault or something. Um, all was good, mate. He was living the dream. Early 70s comes around, the team wasn't playing as well. He started to become frustrated with that. He started drinking a bit more heavily, becoming depressed. He was missing training. He even missed a game against Chelsea once and hung out with a model. It was all pretty stupid stuff. Yeah, the piss was starting to become a problem. Got into an altercation in a nightclub and assaulted this girl. Apparently self-defense. Apparently only lightly brushed her, etc., etc. But the fact is, she had a fractured nose, and he was pissed. So Yeah, I have my doubts about how innocent he was. So for a very short period of time, basically the late 60s, this guy was incredible. One of the best players in the world. Not as good as Pele, of course, but he did win the European Cup. So sensational. And then 1974 is when he stopped playing for Manchester United, and that's essentially the end of his career. I mean, he played for a dozen clubs after that, but never at the same level. It wasn't quite the same. Most notably, he played in the MLS in America. But little known fact for you Aussies, he actually played 4 games in 1984 for a team called the Brisbane Lions. Not the AFL team, but a soccer team called the Brisbane Lions. And when I dig deeper, that's actually the Queensland Raw. So they were originally called the Brisbane Lions, and yeah, they called themselves Queensland Raw in the A League. But yeah, he played for them back in the 80s. Yeah, so after leaving Man United, he bounced around a whole heap of different leagues, playing for teams at a much lower level than he had at Manchester United. While in America, he got married and had a child. Couldn't stop drinking and basically ruined that marriage. Had a ton of supermodel girlfriends as well, and lots of womanizing and lots of drinking. Tried to get off the drink many times, and was able to for sort of periods of time, but always got back on it. Had a few sort of domestic violence incidents as well. One particular incident, he was playing for Fulham in 76, 77, and he crashed his car outside Harrods, the famous Harrods store in London. Crashed his car at like 4 in the morning. He'd been out drinking all night, crashed it into a post and had 55 stitches in his face. So that's not normal behavior. Clearly a sign that the booze was taking its toll. You may not know that his mum was actually an alcoholic as well. So 1978, she died aged 54, so quite young. She never accepted that she was an alcoholic, and at this point, the penny hadn't dropped for George either. He still thought that he had it under control. So yeah, what followed was a long series of basically drinking and failed relationships. And at the end, he died in London in 2005, age 59. The story goes was that he overdosed on immunosuppressant drugs as a part of the liver transplant, and that it wasn't actually the drinking that killed him; it was a drug overdose. It's a pretty stupid theory. I mean, it's all a complication from the drinking. Okay, let's get to the good bit. Let's check out some specific goals. So this is a hat trick he scored against West Ham in 71-72. I'm just going to show you the third goal in the hat trick. It's special for me because the last defender that he beats is Bobby Moore, who captained England to the World Cup. Obviously, an incredibly good defender. So definitely a proud moment to get the better of him. So watch this dribbling. Watch this dribbling. Look at this. Whoop, whoop, straight through. Now this here is Bobby Moore. Okay, straight past him and in, mate. Pretty good. Pretty good. Okay. Cool, cool. Yep. Obviously he celebrates. All right, let's move on. 4-2, they're winning. Fantastic. Okay, this is a cracker, boys. Get this out. George Best disallowed goal against England's Gordon Banks. Check this out. This is the kind of thing that you dream of doing, but you don't think you'd ever actually do. Watch this. Watch this. Okay. Oh, oh, what's he doing? What's he doing? What's he doing? Boom, kicks it out of his hand, runs past him, heads it in. Now, this goal was disallowed, which I think is absolute bullshit because I don't see what law he broke. Maybe I don't know the rules of football, but you tell me what law was broken then. They're just going to show it again, aren't they? Surely there's a replay of that. Fuck it. Let's go see the replay. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Kicks it clean out of his hands. Honestly, no foul. No foul. It's bullshit. Okay, cool. Now, this is the European Cup final against Benfica in 1968. The great Eusebio was playing on this team, so it's pretty good to beat them. He scored one of the goals. That Man United won the game, and this is the goal that George Best scored. Okay, goalie kicks it up, boom, 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 gets it through. Now look at this, look at this, look at this. Goose. Mate, how hard that is to do. That's an ankle breaker. He's cheering. Of course he's cheering. Let's watch this again. Goose. Love that goal. Absolutely love this goal. Oh, in color as well. Oh, they're wearing blue. Check it out. Yep, celebration, and now yeah, lifting the trophy, etc., etc. George Best got pissed after this game and couldn't remember anything, which pretty much sums up his life. But there you have it. Hope you enjoyed that as much as I did. One of my favorite players, absolute gun. There's Bobby Charlton lifting the trophy. Thanks for watching, guys. See you soon.